Oh, guys and girls, I've got to tell you, there's so much to say about this world. There's so much to say about this life. There's so much to discern, so much to interpret, so much to feel, so much to experience. I finished my book, and it's about 650 pages. It's with a publishing agent who are preparing the manuscript for Amazon.com. It's going to be published on Amazon.com in hardback, paperback and Kindle. And the reason why I've put it with this publishing company, because somebody has to format the text, the pages, the paragraphs, the headings and all this sort of thing. Somebody has to proofread it. That's the thing. It's an international thing that they've got going on. They've got to make sure that it's internationally acceptable. So somebody's reading 650 pages of my book. And one of my viewers designed the awesome cover, as you know. And so there's just been a couple of little amendments on that. It looks even better than it did before now. And I would think within a week, 10 days, this company will have done all that is necessary to do to upload it on the Amazon site. And that's what they do. They upload it as per Amazon's prerequisites. And I got a real good deal. I paid £500. The company wanted £750 originally, but I told them I've already got the design for the cover. I've already edited the book. He just wants formatting and just wants tweaking here and there. I've asked for a little bit of a flair to be added to the text, to the headings of the chapters, and you know, like a little bit of a oldie worldy scroll, or you know, underscore, something like that, just to make the text look a little bit more appealing and mysterious. Because what we find is, when we read many other books, they don't have anything like that. You open the book and it's just text, boring. Now I fought a little bit with this company, and I've been a little bit impatient with them, because I'm saying, for God's sake, can't you intuit what I want? I've been telling you, I've been explaining to you what I want. I want the text to look a little bit more interesting. I want a nice font. I want nice oldie worldy headings. I want indentation at the beginning of each paragraph. And I want the book to entice people in. And it's kind of like they've got no clue what I'm speaking about. And it's always the case in my life. Whenever I come to do anything, it's like I'm the first person on the planet that's ever tried to do what I'm doing now. I go to my bookshelf and I pick out a load of books. And I go, well, I really am the first person. Where is it that I've seen what I want? Maybe it's in like one of these old pirate movies, where you've got scrolls with a heading, and then you've got a nice little bit of calligraphy at the beginning of each chapter, and you got a little bit of a motif or something, you know. But then I go, well, I'm paying 500 quid. I'm paying one person's wage for 2 days. It's not a company's profit or nothing. And so, really, whatever I'm getting is superb for the money. But the company that sold me this deal, they're called Amazon Publishing Company. And they're not Amazon themselves. It's not Amazon.com. It's an independent company that compile your manuscript into a format and an acceptability that Amazon will accept if you want to self-publish, because they ain't doing no work. If you want to self-publish, you self-publish. So what you do is you fill in the form, you send them all the details, and then they'll compile it, and then they will advertise your book. And it's a beautiful thing because I don't need to spend a penny on Amazon. It will be listed. They will take a 40% of the sales price as their work profit, and I will get 60%. So I think because I want a nice quality paper, I want a quality cover, the book is going to be at least £20. It's that thick, people. And so I think if it was anything less, it'd just be ridiculous. It'd make a mockery of the book. And I wouldn't blame anybody for not going near it at that price. My personal feeling about the book is it should be listed for about £30. And then you can say, oh, who's got a book for £30? I have. You're woke and brave. You either want it or you don't. And you know, it doesn't matter to me whether I make one sale or 1 million sales. It doesn't matter to me. It's my life. It's 14 years of my spiritual evolution, and I've put it out there now in the cosmos, and I think it's a very, very good book. It touches on an amazing amount of subject matter, and there's most certainly at least 100 subheadings to the chapters. And it's a case of like, what didn't this guy touch on? I touched on it all, people. And so for anybody that's interested in spiritual development or someone's story of their personal spiritual development and what it entails, including so many subjects, you'll have to, you know, buy the book. I might make a video when I've got a copy of the book with all the subheadings in it, and I'll read a few of them off, and to give you some sort of an idea. But you know, I'm currently reading lots of books, and I'm reading all different sorts of stuff which addresses some of the things, one or two of the things I'm addressing. I've addressed 100 things, 100 subject matter in the spiritual realm, and yeah, I've barely scratched the surface. So this company will be finished doing what they're doing, I suppose, within about 10 days, and then it'll be forwarded to Amazon, and then that'll take a week, I suppose, for them to offer me the finished product for my appraisal, and then hopefully they've got it all correct, and I'll go, yeah, go ahead, print. And so I don't know what I was starting off by saying, but I've started putting videos up again now, because I've done that now, you see, and I've got time on my hands, and I've just been out into my garden, and every time I come out of the house, I just put, you know, a palm full of nuts in my pocket, and I go out and see who's in the garden. And there's jackdaws, and there's various other birds that enjoy these nuts, and all the squirrels, as soon as they see me, boom, they come bounding down. And as I said in another video, you know, one of them, other than Providence, is eating out of my hand now, and they're coming in very, very close proximity. And so I'm building a relationship with these wild animals. And I came out, and Providence was there, and so Providence bounced on me, and then they gave him a nut, and he's all excited about that, and then he bounces off to go and bury it, but in no time at all he's back again, and I just threw another nut to another squirrel on the floor, and then he's coming in and he jumps on me, and he's kind of like, what are you doing, Dad? You're feeding everybody, what about me? And I'm like, I fed you already. Is this what you want? And he goes, yeah, thanks. And then he's looking around to see where the others are. Don't concern yourself with the others. You got what you've got, you know, go on your way now. And so he was on his way. And I come away and I went, look, the joy of it, people, the joy. And I've looked into a lot of stuff, people. I've looked into a lot of stuff. Very, very deeply into many, many subject matter. And there's lots of people out there trying to work out what it is. And they really are making it very, very complicated. And I just finished reading David Icke's latest book called The Dream. And basically, you know, what he says in that book of 300 pages is a fraction of what I say in 650 pages. And so I go into more detail. My book is vastly more explanatory than his. I think he's making lots of assumptions that people know what he's speaking about. You know, because he's already published 20 other books. But the point is, you see, he can't keep saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it and explaining everything in every single book. And so this book kind of like touches on lots of the other previous books. And I'm like, well, look, David Icke, you've been at this game now 34 years. And I've been at this game 14 years. And we've reached a similar conclusion. His conclusion is, it's got a demonic edge to it. He considers that the world is governed by, you know, shape-shifting demons. And I don't form that conclusion. I'm not going to tell you what my conclusion is. You'll have to read the book, but you'll be very surprised, I think, as to what it is. And so I meander around and I address all of the spiritual encounters that I've had, and the human psychology and the philosophy and the metaphysics of it all, and the phenomenology and the science, and oh good God, I'm in there, I'm in it all. And so now it's finally over, that first part, and it's very emancipating, it's very cathartic, because once you've uploaded 14 years of your life into a book that you are content with, that's quite something. And how many of you that don't feel as if you could write a book would like to write a book because you've had all these amazing experiences which are going to die with you, because very few of you are articulate enough to actually make videos like lots of us do. And if you can't articulate yourself, if you can't write your story down, then the information and experiences that you've had will just go out into the akasha. It will be here. It's not like you know, you'll die and it'll be gone. The universe doesn't work like that. Whatever experience you've had has been recorded. And I speak about this in the chapter on Akasha, the Akashic Records, morphic resonance, the collective unconscious, and many subject matter relating to that. But it is very cathartic when you can actually alleviate yourself from it. When you can, you know, there's nothing like telling your story. You know, this book is my spiritual autobiography, and there's nothing like telling that story, telling all the stories, all the encounters that I've had, spiritual and non-spiritual. You know, how it all started with the dark night of the soul, and, you know, going into the depths of evil and going into the heights of heaven, encompassing everything in between. So I'm very happy with it, and I've already now got 3 other books that I'm going to start cracking on with. I think after the summer, because I'm going to go back out again into, you know, the natural world, do what I do, making a few videos and doing my foraging, fungi videos and all that. Because writing at a computer, by the way, let me just say that I did that every single day since the day I stopped making videos. And I was doing it every single day before then. It's took me 8 months every single day, spending averagely about 4 hours a day. So it's no easy task to write a book of this magnitude. But I feel the next books that I've got would be more concise to subject matter, and they wouldn't need to be any more than 200 pages, so I could knock them out in 3 months. So I would think that I can most certainly knock out 2 books a year, and I don't consider that there would ever be a time when I would run out of things to say. After all, I've had things to say for this past 14 years, every single day for hours. And so now what I'll do is I will compile all of those thoughts, and you know, at this stage of my life now, I'm really putting the pieces together. Like David Icke says, I'm joining the dots. And what I can say about the world is a whole lot more than many other people can say, because they haven't had the experience. Now, I listen to people like Donald Hoffman with his hypothesis of the simulation. I listen to Nick Bostrom about the simulation theory, which he coined. I listen to Brian Greene and Neil deGrasse Tyson and lots of other scientists speaking about what they know about the quantum world and this and the other. And then, of course, there's all the spiritual gurus speak about, you know, out-of-body experiences and meditation experiences. And then there's the paranormal and the phenomenological, all these sort of things, near-death experiences and everything. And I'm like, well, I can read all of your books, but I haven't found anything which comes remotely close to all the experiences that I've had. And the depth that I call upon to explain what I've experienced. The depth that I call upon is, well, it's the depth of a philosopher. It's what you would expect a philosopher to deliver, because I'm not really leaving any stones unturned. And what I want to do now in subsequent books, I want to get into more individuated subject matter, and I want to go even deeper. And I want to put together my theory of everything, of what this life experience is, and the reasons why, calling upon a myriad of other pronounced, prominent subject matter from brilliant people. And you know, I don't know whether there's any books out there which are going to be competing with what I've written. I've read a lot of books, people, and I've listened to a lot of videos, and I haven't encountered anybody that's touching on a whole plethora of subject matter in the depth and personal experience that I am. So that's the difference, you see. Mine's personal experience. And when I listen to the scientists out there, the PhDs and this, that and the other, and they've got their hypothesis, I'm like, well, you guys haven't even had a DMT experience or an out-of-body experience. You're missing half of the story. You've only got half of it. That's with your science, and that's with your squiggly shit that you call math, your equations and everything. You've not got the experience. This is a human experience. We have to have it. Otherwise, we don't know what we're speaking about. And so when I'm listening to people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's got a new YouTube show now. I forget what it's called. But he's speaking with guests, and he's broaching, you know, like psychedelics, mushrooms. He's broaching, what is consciousness. He's going into the metaphysical. Because what some people are doing now is they've realised that they absolutely have to go into the metaphysical. Because they've been fucking around all their lives with squiggly shit and equations and theory. When now they finally realised that, hang on, we've got to take into consideration that thing which is enabling us to do that, which is consciousness. We have to have a relationship with consciousness. How are we going to do that? Well, one way in which you can do it is get blasted off into cosmic consciousness with psychedelics. Another way is much longer, is meditation. And then, of course, you can have all different sorts of supernatural experiences via out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, and all different sorts of things like that. But you see, these scientists, they haven't had any of that. And now, I think they're getting to a point whereby they're most certainly realising that, fuck, we're never going to be able to put these pieces together unless we do. So more and more scientists now are speaking about psychedelics. More and more people are tentatively trying to get involved with it. But, of course, the bureaucracy, which is, preventing them from doing that, is very, very steadfast. Because what's happening, people, is the things, the entities, the archons that David Icke says, the shapeshifters, they don't want us to know that shit. Because if we know that shit, then we are well going to discover that we have been in a simulation for all these years. And they have been preventing us from knowing our true selves, which is God. And so they're going to fight tooth and nail, and that's why they want to put us in prison for our lives. They want to take away our lives and put us in prison if we touch this stuff. Can you believe it? Anyway, there's a lot more to be said. I've got to pump it up, I've got to keep it real. So I'm going to the gym. Catch you in a bit.